matter who the president is, the duly elected chief executive of this country, they should not be sharing the broad plenary powers of the presidency with 300 individual district court judges. That is not what the people want.
That is a great position to take when you are in power.
Yeah,
but when
I will
you are
believe
not
it no
in
matter
power,
what. District
when
court
you are
judges
not
are
in
different than the
power,
Supreme Court.
it's a totally different situation.
Are you going to continue to have that?
I don't believe district court judges have more power than the chief executive president of the United States.
We will hold you to that, Scott Jennings.
Good luck winning an election in 4 years, by the way. With the current state of the Democratic Party. You may be arguing with me when I'm 70.
When Obama's things were struck down, when Biden's things were struck down, you thought those were the right decisions.
How do you know what I thought? I don't remember being on this show.
Just talked about student loans. I'm sure you think the DACA should have been struck down.
Point though, you made a really good point that there have been judges that shut down some of President Biden's executive actions, and they understand. The Biden administration understood that
he ignored
the checks and balances.
The Supreme Court tried to stop me, but they never will.
But not in the way that Donald Trump is.
Who said that? Joe Biden.
But Donald Trump, he actually didn't ignore it.
He did. They continued to plow forward with student aid.
How much did they spend?
Let me set the record.
He actually got dinged.
I hated the student loan forgiveness policy.
What did he say out loud?
I thought it was a ridiculous policy. I thought it was unconstitutional. I predicted it would get struck down. It did get struck down, and I applauded. He did not ignore it, though. He went and tried under a different law.
So he ignored it.
No, that's not ignoring it. That is trying to do
it. But let me just understand where you.
Democrats are not about solutions. They're just trying to obstruct Trump. That's what the Democrats' brand nowadays in 2025. It's that they don't bring any solutions to the table. They don't even govern good. They just want to block Trump, obstruct Trump, get in the way of Trump. They don't care if Trump won the popular vote. They don't care that Trump has a higher approval rating. Just get in Trump's way. And as you saw from the intro, Biden's appointed judges are Democratic appointed judges are going out of their way to block a lot of Trump's moves. Now they're blocking his cuts to the NIH funding. They think they have political cover to do all this stuff, but I don't think so. I don't think this is going to end well for them. Let's get a little bit more context, and then I'm going to show you a clip of CNN reacting to Trump's approvals. A federal judge blocked the Trump administration's move to cut billions in funding to the National Institution of Health. We'll get more into that later in the video. U.S. District Judge Angela Cayley, a Biden appointee, issued a temporary restraining order to block Trump from slashing fundings for universities and other research centers. Last week, the NIH said it would cut wasteful spending on administrative overhead. The United States could have the best medical research in the world. NIH said in a statement last week, it is according vital to ensure that as many funds as possible go towards direct science research costs rather than administrative overhead. Sounds nice. Last year, the National Institution of Health admitted to funding gain-of-function research at the Wuhan Institution of Virology, the ground zero for the COVID-19 pandemic. This admission directly contradicts previous statements made under oath by Dr. Fauci, the former director of the National Institution of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. This confession comes years after denial from senior health officials, including Tabak and Fauci himself, about their involvement in such controversial experiments. And a Biden-appointed judge decided to protect this. An Obama-appointed judge lashes out at President Trump. As you saw from the intro, these judges, I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know. They got this little pep in their step. I don't know what's going on with them. But I don't think this is what the American people want. And it goes back to Scott's point in the beginning. Democrats keep going down this route. I don't see them winning. I don't know how you win. But, you got Democrats out here calling illegals and warning them about ICE coming. So, maybe Democrats just are the party of people who hate this country. Maybe that's what it is. But that's just an opinion of mine. I like to hear yours in the comment section. Let's get into this clip about Donald Trump's approval rating and see the shock on CNN, that CNN panelist's face. And then we'll continue on NIH.
I think one of the things that's so important for politicians is for folks to believe what they're saying and that they're keeping their campaign promises. So I think this gives you a pretty gosh darn good idea of what may be going on. Trump's doing what he promised to do. You go back to April of 2017, it was just 46% of all Americans who said that Trump was doing what he promised to do. Compare that now to February of 2025. There was a good show that was on during the 1990s called A Different World. That is what's going on right now. We're living in a different world. 70% of Americans say Trump is doing what he promised to do. Again, compare that to April of 2017 when it's just 46%. When Americans are 24 points more likely to say that you're doing what you promised to do, it's no wonder that your net approval rating is much more likely to be on the positive side of the ledger than on the negative side. And so far, what we're seeing, again, is Americans, 21 days so far versus just 11 days during his entire first term, that Trump has a positive net approval rating. Quite a different world.
So a lot of these federal judges are out here trying to protect, in my estimation, they might have some interest. Like, this is actions speak louder than words, right? An explosive revelation: Musk exposed $100 billion in annual entitlement payments to individuals without social security numbers and IDs. Musk revealed what could be the largest financial scandal in American history. I feel like I went over this, but these are the kind of things that Democrats are defending. Like, does it make sense to send a payment? Like, imagine you find out in your bank account that $1,000 was getting pulled out of your account every month, putting you in a negative, and it's going to an unnamed, it has no timestamp, it has no bookmark, like, you don't know where the money is going. You'll find everything in your power to make sure those payments stop going, correct? But the Democrats, they're not guardians of common sense. They're not known for their common sense. Ron Paul, the Federal Reserve's time is up, audit it, and then end it for good. Elon Musk has backed Ron Paul to be the head of the Federal Reserve. And for a long time, many people don't like the Federal Reserve because of the fact that the money printing is causing inflation. Like, end of the day, government spending causes inflation. I'm just telling you. So when the government overspends its money, when it goes way beyond its budget, inflation is an invisible tax on the American people. Elizabeth Warren would have believed you, right? When 2009, right? This is what she said, and then let's hear how she is in 2025.
Well, when that much money disappears, it's usually because somebody broke some laws somewhere. But if we don't look, if we don't ask, if we don't uncover it and make it all public, we'll never find out.
We are here to fight back.
Well, when that
What a difference 16 years make, huh? 16 years ago, she would have agreed with us that, hey, Elon Musk finding $100 billion going to people with no identification, no social security number, no way to trace who these individuals are receiving hundreds of billions of dollars. She would have said, hey, some laws are being broken. Some people are swindling the taxpayers' money. Now in 2025, maybe she's on the other end of those payments. She doesn't want any transparency. You got Democrats out here, right? Let's read some of their defense, right? You gotta give your rivals an opportunity to defend themselves. Make no mistake. The reason cancer research is on the chopping block now is because the Trump administration is looking for money to give the tax breaks to billionaires. Why not pay for it on the backs of children with cancer? I'm tired of this little talking point Democrats always talk about with the rich tax breaks. The reason why the tax breaks disproportionately benefit wealthier people is because wealthier people disproportionately pays more taxes. Duh, right? If you contribute 70% to a pot, and someone says, "Okay, we're giving tax breaks to everybody," you're gonna benefit mostly from the tax break because you paid more into the system. That's my problem with a progressive tax bracket. I believe we all should have a flat tax. I believe we shouldn't discriminate against one American over the other just because the other American makes more money. That's like me it's like me making black people pay more because they're black versus someone of a different skin color. I see it as discriminatory. I see a progressive tax bracket as discriminatory. Give us all a flat tax. We all pay like 20% of our money and call it a day. But no, Democrats want this, because end of the day, people still live in this ideal world where you can just tax one small pool of people, and then when those one small pool of people control all of society, you want to get mad. Progressive tax cuts give more power to the billionaires and millionaires. Just look at the Democratic Party. Because all the billionaires, millionaires have to say is, I'm going to revoke my American citizenship and I'll never pay taxes to this country again. No! Here, we'll give you loopholes, sports teams. Democrats are so Democrats really are the party that just wants to look good and not actually be good. I found out these sports billionaires, these billionaires that own sports teams and stuff, they got a special tax bracket that lets them pay less taxes. And Democrats never want to close that up. But now Trump wants to bring it up and say, hey, when I make tax cuts to the middle class, I'm gonna remove all these special taxes for these sports billionaires and stuff. That's gonna be an interesting one. The updated NIH guidance would actually direct more money to cancer research. It caps indirect payments at 15%. The average beforehand was 27 to 28% as a culinary. If the NIH rewards a grant for cancer research, a higher percentage of that money goes directly to the cancer research. So y'all just changed. Oh, y'all just changed y'all approach, and you want to pretend y'all was doing it all along. Democratic voters, what you guys were doing, bro? What are you guys doing? This is the Democratic Party, man. They got judges. They're here trying to make arguments how judges can block Donald Trump, right? Mike Davis, judges blocking Trump's Treasury oversight violates the Constitution. These people, I don't understand these people. Judges blocking Donald Trump's Treasury oversight and personal recalls aren't checking power. They're staging unconstitutional power grabs that sabotage voter-approved reform. That's correct. That's exactly what's going on. Let's hear it.
It's lawfare, 2.0, sir. So where do we stand?
President Trump campaigned on the fact that he was going to set up Doge with Elon Musk, and he was going to make dramatic reforms to the executive branch to cut waste, fraud, and abuse. And the American people like what they heard, and they gave the president a very broad electoral mandate on November 5th.
I don't understand how these judges think they're on the right side of this, right? 70% of people say, hey, look, Donald Trump's doing exactly what he promised to do. Donald Trump's just doing more of the same. He anointed Elon Musk, right? The Democrats will say, no one voted for Elon Musk. Why Elon Musk is doing all this stuff. No one voted for these federal judges either. So, like I said in my calculus, an elected official has more power than an unelected official. If you've been appointed, then the elected official has more power over you because the elected official has more accountability on him versus an unelected. No one knows who these judges are, but they're here getting in the way of Trump's plan. Okay. And as a voter, how I see this as, okay, this is another opportunity. Oh, all these are Democratic appointed judges. Okay. In 2026, we should punish Democrats even further. Okay. You want to get in the way of this guy's agenda? Okay. Here's more fuel to Trump's fire. As a voter, that's how I would react. But I digress.
312 electoral votes, all 7 swing states, and President Trump is implementing what the American voters elected him to do. He's actually doing what he campaigned on, which is unheard of in Washington, D.C. And then you have these uniparty federal judges, these activist judges who are unlawfully, unconstitutionally, dangerously trying to curtail the president's Article 2 powers. For example, we have a judge telling the president and his Treasury Secretary that they can't look at spending data at the Department of the Treasury. That is...
Hey, who are these judges, bro? Who are them? Who are they? You can't look at it. You can't look at it. What? What do you mean I can't look at it? He's the head of the Department of Treasury. He's supposed to look over this stuff. These people, bro. This is why they love to call the Constitution. They want the Constitution so bad to be a living document. But you know what happens if something's a living document? It changes. So they want to change up the rules. They think they can change the rules on a dime. Okay, we got a Republican president. Let's do all this stuff to block them. This is the funny part about these federal judges. There wasn't this active when Biden went against the Supreme Court's ruling about student loan forgiveness, and he continued making workarounds. They didn't block any of that. And even after Joe Biden did all that, student loans still increased. Make it make sense. But I digress. Hey, That's all I had to say. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree that the federal judges should have as much power as possible to hold the president accountable? Do you even believe that this is holding Trump accountable, or you just think these people are using accountability as political cover to obstruct Trump? You already guys know where I'm thinking about this. I'd like to hear yours in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.